Welcome to the SENS Fitness Podcast. I am Jim Gazzali.
And I am Karen Gazzali.
And we're doing this from our kitchen table.
Our dining room, not kitchen.
Well, it's in the dining room, which is next to the kitchen.
Which is what this podcast is going to be like. SENS Fitness. Who are we? Well, we're married. Jim, Karen. Nice to meet everybody. We are both nutrition coaches, certified through Precision Nutrition. Jim here is a USA triathlon coach. Let's hear it for Mr. Ironman.
Yep, it's exciting stuff. Got a couple of athletes that I train, training plans. They work out with me, train together a couple days a week.
We Zwifted up in the pain cave,
Yep. So that's fun. The indoor cycling stuff is starting to take off the last couple of years, and it's an excellent training tool in my opinion. And we utilize that in our approach, and I think the results from this season have kind of shown that it is a quality way to train and very beneficial, and increases your overall endurance, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I went from 0 to half Ironman just recently in Maine, thanks to my coach here. And obviously the countless hours put in on Zwift and at the pool and out on the pavement.
Yeah, it's all fun stuff. Triathlon is fun. We enjoy it, and we want you to enjoy it. So if you are on the fence about it, get in touch.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So how do you sell triathlon to somebody who says, why in the world would I ever want to spend 8 hours of my life working in pain? I already work 9 to 5, my day job. So why am I going to go out there and put in all this effort, Coach Jim, to just crush my body and then at the end get a piece of metal that is my medal?
Short answer, because not a lot of people do it. It's an excellent conversation starter. Oh, yeah, you look like you're in shape. What do you do? Oh, I go to the gym a couple times a week. I try to eat healthy. Your 400-pound coworker says that to you, right? The triathlete.
No, but seriously. Your 200-pound coworker.
Sure, whatever. But you get the point, right? Everybody says, oh, I go to the gym a couple times a week, and I try to eat healthy and, watch my calories.
Sure.
But, you could look at the person and 99 times out of 100, they're lying through their teeth. So, and I said to start this, I know I said short answer, but I'm carrying on here.
Okay, so
yes,
it is
different.
A conversation starter. But for somebody who's an introvert like yourself, right?
Then it is absolutely ideal. You get to spend hours upon hours by yourself. Relaxing.
Again, how do you convince somebody to come out and try it? Come to our pain cave, give it a try, just one day, maybe 1 week. I mean, how do we get people in the door? How do we get people to say like, oh yeah, you know what? I can see how this can be really exhilarating and really engaging and stimulating, and I understand now why I want to put in 8 hours of pain in a race, because at the end, it's all worth it. How do you get somebody to understand that off the bat?
Right. So for real this time, short answer. It's a unique sport, and if it was easy, everybody would do it. So going into it that it's going to be a lot of work. Not necessarily a lot of hours, right? Because you have a handful of different distances, and now the multi-sport arena, let's say, is growing, where you have different out-of-the-box race directors coming up with different distances, not your standard sprint, Olympic, half iron, full iron distance.
Right.
You have unique distances. You have duathlons, a run and run, bike, run. You have this new event called swim run that is
picking up speed.
Right. So there's all these different things that you can do. So I think the common misconception is that triathlon is that ultra endurance event of the full Ironman, 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a full 26.2 marathon. Right? When you hear that, you say, sure as shit, I don't want to do that. Right?
And you look at the person and say, and you're crazy for doing that.
Right. So I think once we can get past that thought that, it's Iron Man or nothing, and realize that there's all these different unique events, shorter stuff that you can enjoy. Either way, it's going to be hard, and you're going to put in some time, which at the end, when you cross that finish line, it makes it all worth it, right? It sounds cliche, but it is so true that it is all about the journey getting you to the race. The race is your celebration of all of the hours.
Everything you've put in,
right?
right.
Exactly. Whether it be 6 weeks that you worked on building up, or 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, that is the journey getting you to race day, which is the celebration, not necessarily crossing the finish line per se.
And here's the scary part is for those of you who've never tried triathlon, once you try whatever distance you decide to try, you cross that finish line and all of a sudden there's this excitement and joy, and then there's a wave of depression because you realize, wait a minute, I don't have to work out. I don't have to put in training tomorrow. Okay, yeah, you get a rest day. But after that, I don't have to go back to what Coach Jim told me to do today. I don't have to head to the pool. And it's weird. You get this sort of, your brain kind of flips and you're like, but I kind of want to do that.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember one of our first conversations about it when I was starting to put together your training plan. And you said, well, how many days a week do I have to do something? And I said 7. And you said,
hell no.
Yeah. You said, well, don't I get a day off?
Nope.
No, not at first, because we need to build that consistency. You need to get into the habit of doing something every day. And you're not going out there and running 10 miles and then, swimming 2 miles. You're not smashing yourself into the ground. You mix in the active recovery days into the week, but you just need to get into the habit of waking up and knowing that there is some sort of physical activity on your calendar.
Right. And I should say that it was 7 days a week. Obviously all 3 elements. You have the swim and the bike and the run. And for someone who couldn't make the lap of a pool without flipping on their back, me, to know that I have half Ironman distance, a 1.2 open water swim in the ocean coming up in 8 months, then yeah, that takes a little bit of determination and a little bit of consistency. And I'll be honest, did I train 7 days a week? No, but we also have an almost 11-month-old, and we also have day jobs, and we also are coaches. So, you do what you can, and ultimately the result is the effort you put in, but it's such a good time. You have so much fun. And I know Jim and I have talked about triathlon being an individual sport, but it's also such a great community, especially when you're out there and you're not alone. There's so many people out there, and you start conversations, and sometimes you get a blue card because you're drafting next to another biker like I did. But it really is such a great community, and everybody's rooting for you.
Yeah, and I think what stands out about triathlon, especially in the community aspect, is, when you do other races, let's just take a Spartan race, for example, because when we both started our fitness journey together, that was the thing that we gravitated towards first. And, you're out in the woods for 3, 5, 8 hours sometimes.
And this is an obstacle course event combined with running.
Right. So you're out in the woods for hours upon hours, and you have the community of the other racers, and you guys are doing obstacles together. You're meeting strangers, making new friends out there, and that's all well and good. But you don't have any spectators, 15 miles on some wooded trail, like cheering for you with cowbells, saying, "Come on, you can do it."
Yeah.
Right. So you still have that same camaraderie with fellow triathletes as you pass them on the bike course or on the run course. Like, hey, not too much far to go, keep it up. You look good, looking strong, whatever. But you also have the community of the spectators,
yes,
because it's so important in triathlon. And I know when I was I got into triathlon a little bit before Karen, and I always tried to make her feel a part of the journey because the stress that I'm putting myself under physically through the training, your partner and your significant other, your family, your friends, they're going through maybe not the same physical stress, but the mental stress, the emotional stress
Certainly.
of knowing that, Jim's got a 6-hour ride on Saturday coming up, but we have home repairs to do. We got to take the kids here or there.
You gotta go food shopping.
Right.
I mean, there's so much. Yeah, there's definitely a level of support required by your loved ones and your friends that's tremendous in this whole journey once you decide to try.
Right. And I think the spectators on the course understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not there just to cheer for their husband or wife or sister, brother, or whatever.
They're cheering everybody
They're cheering
on.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes triathlon and the community aspect of it one of the better ones that I think we've come across in the various physical activity events and races and whatever else.
I'm sorry, but it's so badass to just walk into work, the bar, somewhere where people, obviously know that you've been training and they're like, you're doing what exactly again? And they've asked you how many times and they're like, wait a minute, what? You're doing what? And to see their face and to look at you and say, you're doing that? I mean, they might not say that to everybody who tries, but at least in my case and, in any person's case, it's a huge undertaking. I don't care what distance you're doing, but it is so cool. It's such a great feeling once you're in it and you're doing it. And like I said, once you're done with that race, you start thinking, okay, what's my next goal? What's the next finish line I want to cross?
Right. And I think where triathlon is great in that regard is that if you go in with an open mind, it's going to suck you in. But on the flip side, if you go into an Ironman and say, this is the only Ironman I'm ever going to do, and you don't allow yourself to enjoy the journey because you're just, I'm going to train for a year, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to tell everybody that I did it, and then I'm never going to do it again. If you go in with that closed mindset, then sure, you're not going to want to do another one. But if you dive in, pun intended, if you dive in and allow yourself to soak in the community, soak in the triathlete lifestyle, and make friends, build your community, your network, talk to people, pick people's brains, understand the training, want to enjoy the training. This is going to be something that you're going to end up doing for years upon years upon years.
Though I will say I was that person, right? I was that person who went into this thinking, and if you hear that, that's our dog Zenyatta, Beagle Jack Russell mix. She's being very, very attached. But I was that person. I wanted to just lose baby weight. And I said, you know what? Coach Jim, coach me through it. I'm going to attempt a half Ironman. And after that, I'm done. I don't want any part of this anymore because I know what it takes, all the hours and all the effort. And I thought, you know what? That's not for me. And I crossed that finish line and I had a crazy experience throughout that race. And now I'm starting to think, I kind of want to do another one. So, I mean, it depends, right? I think it's individual for every person.
Yeah, and I had the same sort of mindset when I first started training for an Ironman a couple years ago.
Full distance. Yeah, you did.
I said, yeah, this seems like something that would be fun to work on for a year, set a crazy goal, go out there and do it. And I'm thankful that I allowed myself to soak in the entire atmosphere of what triathlon is and the community and the training and wanting to get better at it. Because when you look at it and you say 12 months down the line, I'm going to do it, halfway through, I started to notice that my mindset was changing. It wasn't just slogging through the miles. It was understanding the miles and looking around, soaking it all in, enjoying the places that I'm running, the places that I'm biking, right? Because if I have a 75-mile bike ride, I'm not just going to get in the car and drive this 75-mile route, right? When you get in the car, you're going point A to point B. But when you get on a bike and go somewhere, you get to see all of these different things that really aren't that far away from you that you wouldn't experience otherwise. Great views, stopping at various coffee shops for a break, whatever else. All these different experiences that you wouldn't get otherwise.
And I will also say, all of it is great, and, we'll preach about triathlon till the cows come home, but none of it is really gonna mean anything and is gonna work in your favor if your nutrition isn't on point, which is why that was number one for us, to become a nutrition coach, and then to understand, why it is that your nutrition is 90% of everything, and, the exercise and the effort you're putting in is 10%, when you're talking about whether it's weight loss journeys or, I think endurance journeys, or, training for something, if you're an athlete, triathlete. So yeah, I think that was a huge part in your journey too, Jim. Halfway through, your nutrition really kicked it up, and you were really focused on what you were putting in your body to get the maximum, effort.
Definitely, because where you can run afoul in triathlon is thinking, okay, I have all these hours of training that I'm going to do, so I'm going to be burning a ton of calories. I can just refuel with whatever.
Get my belly.
And, you can get away with that to an extent, but, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
You said the other day that you feel old.
That's for sure.
So
I felt like I'm getting older. Ladies, do you understand the difference here? Not like, I didn't say I feel old. I feel like I'm getting older. That's all.
Okay, even so, nutrition is critical for everybody, but even more so as
we age.
We age, right? So I think I noticed that my nutrition needed to be better if I wanted to perform my best.
Right.
And that goes for triathlon, that goes for
everyday life.
Even if you have a desk job, or you're a factory worker working on an assembly line, you need to eat right so you can function properly. Your brain is clear. You have energy to complete whatever task is set in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just for athletes.
Right. No, of course. And it's not just the reflection that we see in the mirror, right? We're talking about changing your nutrition so that you're changing your insides, so that your health also on paper, right? What your heart is doing, what your cardiovascular system is doing, so that all of that is getting better, so that you're adding days to your life, and that's really what we're about at SENS Fitness. That's what we talk about a lot.
Yeah. I know we spend a lot of time talking about triathlon and being athletes and how much fun and enjoyable the experience is, but really, first and foremost, you need to be healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. Case in point, we have a nearly 11-month-old daughter who is 25 pounds at this point. We have a 3-story house. We sleep on the 3rd floor.
Right.
So
bringing her up is no fun.
Right. You're carrying a 25-pound weight up 3 flights of stairs. I don't know,
Many
4
times
times a day at least.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. So when you're talking about functional fitness, that's, a big buzzword nowadays. Functional fitness is carrying a baby uphill.
Absolutely, yeah. Or functional fitness is the elevator breaks at work and you need to take the stairs however many flights, right? What are you going to do? You're going to get up 10 flights, you're going to go sit down at your desk, out of breath, sweating, panting, and realizing, holy shit, I think I'm going to have a stroke.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants that? Not me.
Right. Seriously. And I think where people tend to get led astray is thinking that, nutrition is only for peak performance in some sort of athletic event or whatever. But, you turn into an athlete pretty quick when your kid is scurrying across the floor towards that dog water bowl that's about to go all over the floor that you're going to have to squat down or, hinge at the hips and bend over to get the paper towels out to wipe it all up, right? But what happens? You can't react in time. your child scurries across the floor too quick. You can't keep up. They knock over the bowl of water. And what do? You bend straight over, legs, knees locked out, and then you wipe it up, and then you bend back over, and then you lean back, and you grab the small of your back, and you say, ow, oh my God, like
and
my
then
back
you're
hurts.
Screwed. Off to the doctor's office you go.
Right.
All because of your nutrition habits.
Seriously.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And we're going to be talking about, obviously, nutrition topics, triathlon, and I think, personal topics, too, on this podcast. We'll be taking requests as the days go by, weeks go by.
Yeah, and I think what you guys can expect from this is that we don't really hold anything back. Karen and I are honest with each other, and we're honest with everybody around us, and that includes each of you. So, you're going to hear about what's going on in our daily lives and the stuff we agree on, the stuff we disagree on, whether that is in nutrition, any athletic pursuits, child raising,
I mean, it'll be like a therapy session to some extent. So maybe we apologize for that now. But no, in all seriousness, we look forward to this journey. We have, I would say, a good amount of knowledge to share with people, and we're still learning ourselves. So I think that, starting this podcast is an excellent way to share not just what we've learned, but to also learn from you guys. So, yeah, Polar Seltzer, if you're out there, listen to this.
Yeah.
We want you to be our sponsor.
Oh, we drink enough of it.
Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about it. How long have we been talking, Jim?
22 minutes.
Wow. That's longer than we said we would.
Yeah.
I feel like that's also going to be a theme.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think we could start to wrap it up here. This is just our pilot episode, just getting our feet wet. For all of our listeners, for all of our clients and athletes, firstform.com/SENS Fitness, SENS Fitness. Free shipping on any supplement order. Also, barbellapparel.com. Some of the most comfortable athletic wear we've ever tried. 10% off your order using promo code SENSFitness10. That's SENS Fitness 10 at checkout. 10% off your order at Barbell Apparel. And hopefully we can start to bring you guys some other deals and discounts for our loyal listeners. And yeah.
Check us out online. Strength, endurance, nutrition solutions for life.
Yep. SensFitness.com. And we'll do more of these.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a thing.
It's going to be a thing.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.